Any members of the public want to speak on this issue?
Good morning. I'm Darlene Tooley, and I'm the director at Northern Circle Indian Housing Authority, and have been for these many 30 years. So we really wanted to express our appreciation to the board for recognizing our hard work. And you're right, there's lots to be done. So the next time you see me, we may be asking for some assistance or some partnership in working in our communities for housing. But thank you for this honor. It's much appreciated.
Thank you, Darlene.
Thank you, supervisors. I appreciate it. My name is Brian Yepis. I'm actually the chairman of Northern Circle Indian Housing Authority, and although we just celebrated our 30th annual, I made it clear that I was only 6 when we started, and truly Darlene and all the other good staff and tribes are really the backbone of this. But we do thank you so much, and we look forward to not just housing, but working with the county in other areas. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to, I pulled item number 8 of the consent calendar. I just wanted to express I will be voting no on this item. I don't believe that it's a time. First of all, I have 2 problems. I don't think an 18-month extension, that isn't our normal extension of contracts to go an 18-month period. I don't know why that is. But I think this is a time when we're asking our employees to take time off and trying to cut back. I think that it's a time to review all contracts, and I don't think it's a time, especially going to a firm in Washington, D.C., where we should be expending more money to them when they should be thinking about taking some of the hit too as far as the finances. So I'm not going to belabor this, but I pull this off the consent calendar so I can vote no. Supervisor McCallum?
Well, I don't want to have a lengthy discussion about it either, but I would toss out the idea that perhaps we could approve the contract through the end of this fiscal year, and then the discussion of how we should move forward could be part of our budget discussions. And perhaps we should get a reaction from staff, or the executive, what their take on that would be. But unless there's some legal reason not to, maybe we could go that way.
Supervisor Brown, you had a comment?
I was just going to agree, and I thank you, Supervisor Pinches, for pulling it for discussion.
So what, Supervisor Kovac?
Well, I have a more general concern here, and it is that I feel here that since we're talking about the impact of the budget crisis on all of our staff, that we should be looking at every contract, and I would include this one in this particular group. We should be looking at every contract, every agency that we're dealing with which we have a financial investment involvement, and require or request cooperation in terms of reducing 5, 10%, 15% on each and every contract and item we have before us. We're taking a hit. Our staff is taking a hit. Our employees across the board are taking a hit. And I think here we should be asking those who are fortunate enough or unfortunate enough to be working for agencies that are not suffering what we are. We should be moving forward in the direction of looking at each and every one, and let's start with this one and do it now.
Tom?
Tom Mitchell, Chief Executive Officer. I think we all share the concerns, and our General Services Director is looking at all contracts with the eye toward trying to negotiate better terms. This particular contract before you does have to do with the current federal legislative program that we're working on. Supervisor Smith and I are leaving tonight and tomorrow for Washington, D.C., and this consultant that we have engaged in this contract is an integral part of the process by which Mendocino County will get millions of dollars in return on our investment. So I would encourage you to move forward with this contract, because this is an economic stimulus of itself. We simply do not have the local resources to get both the information that's provided to us by Alcade and Fay or the unseen lobbying efforts that go on in Washington, D.C. every day. The current contract expired on January 31st, yet the contractor continues to work for us in a good faith. They have not increased their fees for this next cycle. We're just trying to take care of the paperwork so we have a longer term to work with them. The current contract would call for their services clear through this October's basically adoption of the federal budget. So if you do not approve this agreement, you are leaving the legislative program at the federal level in jeopardy at a time when this particular firm is engaged with us on the reappropriation of transportation funds and Army Corps of Engineer funds. We have been told that we may be eligible for as much as $25 million, and the transportation funds will be returning to your board with further research and recommendations on that. But I think that for the minimal amount of money that you're paying here, your return on investment is absolutely huge for what you get out of having a federal lobbyist.
I want to be clear, I'm not opposing this particular contract. I think the services provided and the results have been quite rewarding. I am suggesting, however, that we add to this something of a footnote saying, can we take another look at the amount we're talking about? This is further along than some of the other things we have out there. But I think we need to put this on each and every contract that we have out there right now, just a rider, if you will, saying we would like you to negotiate, we would like to negotiate a reduction in the fees. The fact they have not increased their fees this year is noted. However, this is a year when we're still looking at major liabilities.
Well,
In responding to Supervisor Colfax, Supervisor Smith and I can have some discussions while we're in Washington, D.C. With this particular contract, just for an example of what you're getting in value in this contract. The last Washington, D.C. lobbyist I used, which was in Calaveras County, was the Ferguson Group. The Ferguson Group charged us, I think it was approximately $110,000 a year plus about $20,000 for expenses. So that contract only included services for lobbying for 3 earmarks was the total contract. So here we have 8 earmarks that your board has requested that we pursue in Washington, D.C. for significant more funds, and we are getting daily input from this Washington, D.C. lobbyist, which is now on our website that we're sharing with the public and the press. So dollar for dollar, we are getting tremendous value out of this firm for what they're offering the county.
Supervisor Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think all of these comments are important. I think we do need to scrutinize contracts. I would propose sort of a compromise to this, that we, instead of an 18-month extension, to extend it through this calendar year. The comments I think that CEO Mitchell just made are really important. In addition, this year to the regular appropriations process that we're fully engaged with, we've gotten departmental input, community input, supervisorial input. Our proposal is already out there, but in addition this year, there are 2 other fronts that this individual and this firm are going to work on, and they have been working on. And one is the addition of the potential for stimulus dollars, and the third is that this year in the fall, the Army Corps of Engineers and the transportation budgets will be reauthorized. This is a process that only occurs about every 4 to 6 years, so it's a real opportunity to look at those. For Army Corps of Engineers, the specific ongoing areas of concern in this county,